Tisslaw has definitely come along, and I was a big fan of Tisslaw, and I remember like back when I was still doing the podcast with those guys, I had been pounding the table on after his combine performance and kind of going deep on some of the tape from Arkansas, which was not great, but he didn't really exactly have anyone to throw to. Meeks I'm a little more leery on just because, and I know his numbers are kind of eye-popping right now. I think he has something like, 11 catches, 176 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's undrafted. He had some big quotes to, I think it was Local 4 in Detroit, saying that he believes he's one of the best players in the world, which is a lot of confidence. A little cynical in that I feel like I do this almost every other year or so with a undrafted wide receiver or a late drafted wide receiver. I can remember us all talking up Jace Billingsley. and I know Tom Kennedy is still kicking around, and I don't want to disparage him too much because I'm sure he'll be back on the practice squad at some point. But I feel like between that guy, who else? Zach Zenner was a running back, I remember, back in the day, but everyone kind of fell in love with him. There always feels like there is a guy who really shows out in preseason that I don't really expect too much from the season itself. And as you say, this is an incredibly crowded room at this point. Now, they obviously want Tisslaw to factor into their plans long term, maybe even short term. I think they'll carry Tim Patrick into the season, but I could honestly see Tisslaw start to take snaps away from him as he gets more and more acclimated to the speed of the NFL. And his catching motions are great. He catches with his hands away from his body. People are already coming up with the nicknames for him, but he's not a receiver the Lions have had since it's tough. Probably since Kenny Golladay, just that big contested catch jump ball receiver. And that's been the one thing that's really been missing here. If there's any other attention to really give to the wide receivers right now, it's just my big question once we get to the season is going to be a matter of how is this going to look with John Morton as the wide receivers? As the new offensive coordinator, it sounds like even Amon-Ra St. Brown is going vertical now, which is very exciting. But yeah, I don't hold out a ton of hope. I think Dominic Lovett probably ends up on the practice squad. I think Jackson Meeks probably ends up on the practice squad. They'll carry Tisslaw and Khalif Raymond into the season. I could see them going probably 6-7. And I'm trying to think how many deep we really want to go before it starts. Again, I do not like trying to slim these things down to 53 men because I don't envy anyone's position to do that.
Sports Intel with Ryan Walsh.